Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm Kirsty and this is Stuck in the Mud. So in today's video we're talking about subtypes of obsessive compulsive disorder, and there are many. I have also been through many during my almost 40 years of suffering from obsessive compulsive disorder. So I want to go back to when I was seeing my therapist, and I remember she said to me she found it quite extraordinary that all the people she saw with OCD, they all thought that their subtype was the worst. And I found that interesting, and at the time I didn't really get what she meant. It's only now, while I'm going through my own recovery, because back then I feel like I was going through the motions. I probably wasn't doing all the work needed consistently enough to actually get better from OCD, and it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of dedication and consistency just to stick with it and get better and heal, because it's really, really hard. It's really hard going through OCD and anxiety, and it feels sometimes that you do feel like it can't be done sometimes. You feel like, how am I gonna do this? How am I gonna get through all this therapy to get better and live a normal life where I'm working to all my values, working to all my goals, and live a fulfilling life as well, a happy life, which we all deserve. And when she said that back then, I didn't really think about it, but only recently I've thought about this a lot more and what it really means. And there isn't the worst subtype of OCD, because these subtypes of OCD, they all come from fear, and they're gonna find the path of least resistance to get to you. So that could be because you have children and they know that if OCD was a person, that is, if OCD was thinking, let me push some of these intrusive thoughts about children on you, because I know that's going to affect you, and it's going to make you get involved and try and work it all out and figure out why you're having these intrusive thoughts. So that was essentially one of the subtypes of OCD I had, revolving around my children, and there couldn't be anything further from the truth about me harming my child, because it's just something I would never do, and it's something that OCD preyed on. It really preyed upon me with that, because I was a new mum. You know, I've had 5 babies. I've got 5 babies, and I may have been in a low place at the time after giving birth, and it found an easy way to get to me, and it was really challenging. It was a very challenging thing to go through, because that subject was really hard. It was hard to think that I could be capable of doing something like that, and like I say, it's the furthest thing from who I am, and that's why OCD likes to target you like that. It likes to get to you, and it'll be the easiest way it's going to get to you. And then of course you have other subtypes like contamination, sexual obsessions, and relationship OCD, scrupulosity OCD, religious OCD, health OCD. They all like to get to you, and they'll find the one that's going to challenge you the most. And I think what my therapist was saying back then was really that they're all different and they're all challenging in their own way, but the basis is the same. We have to treat these all the same, that they are just intrusions. They say nothing about us. They can be all treated the same way. We can treat these as random thoughts popping up and go, I know it's there, I'm going to leave it alone. I'm not going to involve myself. And that is really the difference for me. It's when I really started to recognize when these thoughts were coming in. I had that awareness of when they were coming in, so I didn't find myself that I'd been thinking about something all afternoon and just gone, oh, I've been thinking about that all afternoon, getting all anxious, and I've only just realized. I really started to become more aware of when these were popping in, and it was easy for me to take note and go, it's okay. It's okay that that's there. It's a random thought that's popped in, but it doesn't say anything about me. It's fine. It can do whatever it wants. And it's having that least involvement as possible. And yeah, my therapist did find that intriguing, because I know at the time, I think I would have had the opinion myself, and this is me included, that because I had thoughts of harming my children, that I would much prefer if I had contamination OCD, for example. But the people with contamination OCD, they're going through a rough time too, and it's all producing the same kind of emotions, the same anxiety, the same panic, all these emotions we feel alongside OCD, and we can get into depression and sadness, anger, shame, guilt, all of them. There's a whole mix of different emotions that come along with OCD. And they all have their challenges. All subtypes have their challenges. But some subtypes I do find more challenging to deal with. At the moment, I know myself, it's moved on to, because this is what it does. It's like, I know some people describe it as like whack-a-mole OCD, because it's constantly moving. It's constantly trying to find that path of least resistance, what's going to get to you at the moment. You may go over one subtype and you think, right, I've cracked it. I've it doesn't bother me anymore. And then OCD's working away in the background thinking, well, I can get you another way. And it really is, like I say, if it was a person, it is a bully. It really is a bully, because it's trying to find a way to hook you in, to get your attention, to go, I'm here and I want you to pay attention to me and get involved and really try and get rid of these thoughts. That is the worst thing you can do, is try and get rid of an OCD thought. You have to let them be there. I've tried it many times to get rid of them. It doesn't work. And I think once you can get your head around that, and you realise that trying to push them out, trying to change them, trying to stop them, it's just not going to work with OCD, unfortunately. We have to let them be there, and that is an uncomfortable step to take, because it's hard, like you say, moving forward through your day and knowing that they're playing out in the background. But the more you do that, the less noticeable they become, and they fade away. And you'll also find that they become less frequent, less noticeable. And it's an amazing thing when that happens, because you realise, and it might not be, for a while that you notice, but you think, I'm really not having as many intrusions. But that's because you're following the therapy, you're following what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to let them be there and let them play out in any way they want, and just recognise it's an OCD thought. It says nothing about me. I don't need to figure it out. I don't need to challenge it. I don't need to change it. I just need to let it be there and play out for as long as it wants. And there's, like I say, I talk about this in videos of ways you can do that, whether it's passing clouds or a train coming into the station, you don't get on it, you let the train go by. A brilliant one, especially if you're a mom, is a screaming toddler, because toddlers, they love to have a big tantrum, don't they? And if you can imagine that and just don't answer to it. So yeah, OCD is like a toddler. It wants your full attention, and it's not going to give up. It's going to try and try and try its best to get your attention, just like my toddler does. She doesn't give up. She's there. If she wants a drink, she wants it now. And she's not going to give up, whether she has to throw herself on the floor till you actually do that and answer back. But I can ignore that behaviour, and I do, because it's not the right behaviour, and that's a different subject altogether. But I ignore it, and I just let it play out. Let her have a tantrum, let OCD have its tantrum, and move forward with your day. And it's hard at first, but it gets easier, believe me. People that have OCD, like myself, we have very high values. We've got very high morals, and I think this goes, like I say, I think we're very sensitive people. So we're very intuitive to all these things, and because of that, it puts us in a really difficult place, because these kind of intrusive thoughts, they're really challenging, because it goes against everything we are as people. We would never commit any of the things that OCD tries to make us believe we would. And it's very clever. Like I say, it'll give you intrusive thoughts. It'll give you false memories that you actually committed something. It's very sneaky. It'll get to you. It'll try its best to get to you. And don't get me wrong, it's not just going to be about subjects that are close to your heart. Like I say, it will find a way, because of the type of sensitive person you are. It's going to find a way out, and it'll just keep going to the next challenging thing, and it could be completely unrelated to you. But it's important to you because of the way you are and how far apart these things are from you. And as a society, we hold some of these awful things to account, and as we should, because some of these topics that OCD likes to pick on are completely immoral, and and we know that as OCD sufferers, we know that these are some of the most awful things that happen in the world, and we will latch onto them because we hear about it all the time. I mean, OCD is probably on the rise because we are so overly exposed to every awful thing happening in the world today. And while that is good to have awareness of things that are going on, OCD is going to go, hey, I know, I'm going to hook her in this way because she knows that that's a really awful thing that's going on, and she has kids or she's in a relationship, and it'll just find, like I say, the path of least resistance. And whether it's something you have in common with the subject or not, because some of these subjects are really tough to deal with. I mean, they're really about things that you wouldn't tell anyone because you wouldn't want them to know what you were thinking. But we have to accept that they're just thoughts. They say nothing about you. And I want to make that clear, because these thoughts, however immoral they are, however awful the subject matter is, they are just thoughts. They are OCD thoughts. And it's the doubting disorder that OCD is. And it's going to question. It wants you to question, and it wants you to gain certainty that that is not you. But we don't need to do that. We can't do that with OCD, because it'll just keep feeding the cycle, and we go around and round and round. And I understand that so much better now. But like I say, it's taken me nearly 40 years to kind of get to this place. But it's challenging. Like I say, I think there's a lot more awareness now with OCD, and if you can see the right therapist that can help you, it's amazing. You can get your life back, because we all deserve to do that. We deserve to live that life, that fulfilling life. We are not our thoughts. We're so much more than that. We are so far apart. Even if it comes as urges, they're not urges. That's OCD just finding another way to trick you. So I hope this video has really helped you understand what I meant in the title, which is the word subtype. They're all the same, because they're all OCD, and we have to treat them as that. They're all OCD thoughts. We're sensitive people. We're taking it all. We're sponges. We're taking it all in all the time from the world. All these awful scenarios going on in the world. And OCD is going to find a way to get to you. Whether, like I say, it's something personal to you, or it's just finding something that you really don't like to hear about, because it's not nice to have some of these intrusions that we have. So thanks for watching. I hope this video has given you some ideas about what to do, what step to take in your healing journey. Let them be there. They are just thoughts. It's OCD. It's not you. You're so far apart from that. Thanks for watching, guys. Please remember to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.